Hello there and welcome once again to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Amata and I'm here once again to give you a daily dose of the latest gaming news. Today I have some news for you concerning World of Warcraft, as Blizzard has confirmed plans to introduce an in-game store to this particular game. And they initially plan to test the store in Asian regions where players will be able to purchase new convenience-orientated items such as buffs to aid leveling. And a Blizzard community manager by the name of Bashiok said that the studio is still pretty early in the exploration process, and the long-term goal is to enable players in all regions to purchase items using microtransactions without leaving the game. And I've got a direct quote from him here. For players who are already interested in the in-game items we offer, such as pet store, pets and mounts, the benefits of an in-game store are pretty clear. We think everyone would appreciate the convenience of being able to make such purchases without leaving the game, and ultimately that's our long-term goal for the system. There's quite a bit of work involved in retrofitting those existing items into the new one. First, we'll be testing the in-game store with some new kinds of items we're looking into introducing into Asian regions at the outset, based on player feedback, specifically an experience buff to assist with the leveling process, as well as an alternate way to acquire lesser charms of good fortune. We've had a lot of requests from players in different regions for convenience-orientated items such as these, and with other new ideas we've introduced as well has evolved, including pet store, pets, mounts and more. Your feedback has played a hugely important part in determining what we add to the game. Ultimately, it's still too early in the process to make any final determinations about our plans, but in the meantime we hope you check out the in-game store once it's implemented on the PTR and let us know what you think. So what do I think on this? Well, my opinions are pretty much already expressed on this because there was a rumour concerning this not too long ago actually. I actually already did a video concerning this and how they were considering adding a microtransaction system to the game. But let me recap my thoughts and opinions if you don't want to go and rewatch that video. It's basically that I'm not a huge fan of microtransaction systems, generally speaking, outside of, say, free-to-play games, because when you've got a game such as World of Warcraft, where you're already paying, obviously, a price for the game disc, say, I don't know, $20 or whatever, and then of course you've got your $15 a month subscription, it seems a bit much to then add a microtransaction system on top of that. But to be honest, I don't even really like it in one-time payment games such as, say, for example, Dead Space 3, which of course had microtransactions built into it, even though it was a full-priced AAA title which probably ran you somewhere in the region of $60 at launch, and of course had microtransactions built in. You know, microtransactions have their place usually in free-to-play. Obviously sometimes in games such as Team Fortress or multiplayer-focused games you can have some stuff like that, but even in free-to-play it's a very easy system to get wrong and actually have pay-to-win or basically a straight-up advantage to those who actually purchase, and that's not what you want, obviously. And I'm not immediately, calling foul and saying that Blizzard's going to do that. They are a company at the end of the day, they're a business, and I think they're smart enough to know that if they're going to have this kind of system, they need to think very carefully about not having any kind of pay-to-win advantage for anyone actually paying real money for these things. Now, obviously, buying pets and mounts is one thing, but having an XP boost, well, if they're going to make it so that you can purchase that with real money, then I would say, well, if you're going to have that, you need to have a way to get that same boost in-game. Perhaps for more effort, perhaps for more time, but it still needs to be acquirable without actually spending money. That's usually how it's done in most good free-to-play games, where you have an item that, say, costs, I don't know, $5, just for example, and then you've got 1,000 in-game credits that you earn in-game, and it takes much more effort in the game to actually get those credits, but of course you can have the choice of bypassing that if you so wish, and that is how the good free-to-play games do it, and hopefully that's the kind of system they're going to have in place, because otherwise it's not paying to win exactly, but it is paying to level faster, which is fine. I did speculate in my previous video that that was probably what they're going to be aiming to think of doing, but as long as they have a system in place where you can still get that same boost in games somehow, then it's absolutely fine. You're not giving any real advantage other than time to those who are willing to pay money. And it has an alternate way to acquire lesser charms of good fortune. That's fine, because obviously it's an alternate. There's already a way to get those, but perhaps you don't have the time to do the traditional way or what have you. You have the choice. So I'm not really sure how to feel about this. I'm not someone who's ever really played World of Warcraft. I've really got super into it. I'm not really an MMO person, just generally speaking. I played Guild Wars 2 and actually really enjoyed it, but that's one of the few MMOs I've actually been able to get into. It's just not a genre that I've particularly enjoyed much of, at least so far. Perhaps that would change in the future. But I'd be curious to see what long-term WoW fans think of this. Obviously, you're the ones who have invested all these hours, all this time into the game. How do you feel about the system? Would you like to see it actually become part of the game? And if you wouldn't, then why not? I think your opinion is much more worthwhile than mine. I just like this out of principle that you shouldn't have microtransactions in a full-priced game, especially one that already charged you $15 a month for a subscription. And if you're going to have XP boosts as well, they better damn be available in the game without paying money. That's my opinion at least. Be curious to hear yours though. Anyway, that's me done for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.